Hello game devs, welcome back to another GDevelop 5 tutorial. So today I will be showing you how to create an internet connectivity extension in GDevelop 5. Okay, so let's have a preview of what this would look like. But before we have the preview, I just want to let you know that this is GDevelop beta 98, presently the latest version of GDevelop, and it has a whole okay, it's actually a pre-release of the beta 98, so this is not the 98 yet, it's just a pre-release of what the 98. So this has a lot of features which we would cover some as we progress in this tutorial. So okay, so let's just have a preview of what the internet connectivity extension can do or looks like. Okay, so this extension actually checks if you're connected to the internet. So I made it as in the event, and I also made it as a condition, which I will be showing you how to create both. Okay, so this the condition makes it actually full screen. So once it's online, it sets it to full screen, and once it's offline, it brings it back to normal window size, and it sets this text to your online. Okay, so I'll just turn off my internet right now. Okay, it's gonna take some time to update. Okay, so there we go, it's now you're offline. So I turned it off and I'll just turn it back on, and okay, so here we go, it's back on, and it should take some time. Okay, that's taking some time, and I think it's having a hard time connecting, so just minimize. Okay, so that should have updated, and okay, so here we go, it's back to your online. So that's how it is. So we would start this all the way from scratch. So I'll just open this as an empty project. Today I'm using the duck theme. I don't think I've used this in months. Oh, I'll just use this today. So create a new project. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. That's loading. Okay, so here we go. Now we have a new particle effects demo made by Wishforge Games, and we have the video section of GDevelop, which comes with some set of tutorials. Okay, so let's go status and scroll to the bottom, empty game. Okay, so game settings, properties, I'll just name this internet connectivity. Okay, there we go. Now apply, and let's add a new scene. I'll name this okay, I'll just name this internet. Okay, that's perfect. Internet. Let's open this up. So for this tutorial, we only need one object, which will be a text object to display your online or your offline. So add new object, text, and I'll name this status. So this would be the status of the internet's connectivity, or the internet's status. So status.txt, because we would name some other things status, so we need to specify what status this is. So this will be status underscore txt, bold and text. Okay, I'll just set that to text so we actually know where we're positioning this. Okay, so there we go. Now this is it. So this would change based on the connection status. Okay, so let's go to our event. Now we need to modify this text, which is the status text, modified based on a variable. So it would change the text based on the variable we get from our JavaScript. Okay, so now add an empty event, add a condition, status text, modify. Okay, so a lot of you have been asking about this system, which is a new events editor. For most of my old tutorials, I use the old events editor because I preferred that, but GDevelop made this come with it, whereby you can set it, but this is now the default events editor or action or condition which comes with GDevelop. So now here, first of all, you need to select the object. This is where you select the object. Some objects don't have some actions don't actually have some actions don't need objects, so that's why we have this order actions on this category. Like the at the beginning of the scene, you can select an object for this. Sorry, beginning of the scene. Sorry, something's messed up here. Okay, so that works at the beginning. Oh, this is an action, so it won't show that. It only works on the condition side. So the other actions don't actually require an object before you can assign them. So here we go, objects. Now for this is where you select your objects. So status text. Now this would give every single action which can be applied to our status text. So this is you can select what you can see, whatever you can assign to it. So we can change the text opacity, the size, modify. So this is the column or the category where you select that. So for this we would need the modify a variable. Sorry, not that. Sorry, we need a modify text. Here we go, modify the text, and this is where you select, you configure the action, which is the third category. So modification sign, set and value. Let's create a variable. Let's get a variable here. So variable strings in variable, I would name this status variable underscore underscore variable. Okay, so we have that, and okay. Now let's go to our project manager. This is our project manager, and external events. I would create an external event, and I would rename this connection.js. Okay, so open that up and choose a scene, which will be our internet scene, and close, and add an empty event. Okay, so now let's add let's choose an event which will be the JavaScript code, and delete this. Okay, something's broken. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so we don't, just in case, so new users don't mix this up. First of all, before we start this JavaScript, GDevelop is an easy to use game creator with no programming language to learn. So you can make wonderful games in GDevelop without writing a single line of JavaScript code. Okay, so I haven't actually used JavaScript code throughout my tutorials. This is the first time I'm actually using a JavaScript code in my tutorials. So I've made tutorials about things in the past without writing a single line of JavaScript code. I use the event sheet, like my game runners, I use the event sheet. So to the new users, so you don't get this mixed up, GDevelop is an easy to use game creator with no programming language to learn. So you can make a wonderful game without using JavaScript. So but if you want to use it, you can use it, but it is not compulsory. But for this we would be using the JavaScript code, because the JavaScript gives us more functions or more features to the event sheet, but it's not as easy as the event sheet. Okay, so for this, let's get a variable. For this variable, var stands for variable, and this would be the variable name. So in GDevelop, you get to select the variable name by creating scene variable, value for scene variable, then you place the variable here. So that's how it works here. But in JavaScript, you have to place variable, then your variable name would be here. So I'll name this status. Okay, status. Okay, status. Now this would be equals to, now this variable, just like we have here, add a condition, scene variable. Okay, just trying to show you guys something. So value for scene variable, just like we have your value. Now this is, here we have this sign set to, and value, this is the value. So for this in JavaScript, this would be our variable name, this would be our the sign, and this would be the value. Would fill in the value here now. So for that, you need to get in the runtime scene. Runtime scene stands for the scene is being played. You can get cool info about various code by clicking on the info sign we have here. Okay, so runtime scene dot get variables. So get the variables dot, okay, open and close the bracket, and dot get. Now we'd get the variable, open the bracket, and double quote. So just like we have in GDevelop events sheet, we have the variables. Here we go. So we have the variables. You can fill in a value which is in a text format as a string. You have to place a string in double quotes, and you don't have to place numbers in double quotes. So that's the same way JavaScript works. So since this is a string is actually a text. So here we go, variable string status var. So since this is a string, we have to place it in double quotes. So that would be status, which is the variable we create this status underscore var, and you have to close this with a semicolon right there. So this would mark an end of a line code. Okay, so let's go, and next up we need to get a window dot add events listener, open a bracket. Now fill in here online, comma. Now this would be a function connection. A JavaScript function is a line of code, a code block which is designed to run a specific task. Okay, so this would be a connection. I'll name my function connection, and now you can just choose to fill in this way where you start filling your JavaScript function right here, but I want to keep your work organized like that. I would just recommend you just set that there, and let's go. So window dot add events listener, open a bracket, and offline, double quotes, and offline. Okay, comma and connection. Okay, so close that, and we also have to close this. Now this is where we would get our function. So function, and the function name, which is connection, which we created here, which is the line a block of code which is designed to run a specific task. Now this is a task it's supposed to run. So function connection, open close the bracket, and here we go. So the function connection, open. Now if we have this, so now you need to understand something about the if. Now here in GDevelop we have the conditions and the actions. Using the if, you get this, and you place your condition in this bracket, and you place your action in the curly brackets right here. So what you want, let's say at the beginning of the scene, make the player jump, you place this here, which it can be at the beginning of the scene, but it's a runtime scene, something like that. So for this you can place your at the beginning of the scene in here, and your condition comes, your action comes right here. So condition in the brackets and action in the curly bracket. So if navigator dot online, so that's our place online. Now if it's online, now you carry out this task right here. Now return, we need to if it's online, we need to get the status, which is a variable we created, status dot set string. So it would set this the values status variable to this, which would be your online. Okay, close that. So now once navigator is on the online, status set string to your online. So this is a variable, it has this as its value. So wherever we place status, it will present this whole long line of code right here. So status, this is indirectly representing runtime scene get variables, get status variable, and set the string of the status variable to your online. Okay, so now if this is true, now you can just fill in else. That's if the inverse of if. So you can open a bracket. So here you don't need to put these brackets, you can only put this if you want to declare another if. That would be else if you have this happening, and else if this other thing is happening. You can just choose which you want, but for this we just want it to use the same navigator.online. So if the navigator is online, set the string to your online. Else, which is it's not online, so else, open this, and we'll just set the status, which is the scene variable status dot set string. Set string, open this, and you're offline. Okay, so there we go, and that's it. Now we need to call the function right here, so we just call that, and that would be connection, the name of the function, connection, open and close the bracket, and there we go. So now we are done, and add let's go back to events, add an empty event, and add let's add a link to our connection.js, and that should be it. Now let's preview this. Okay, so there we go, here online. If I turn off my internet, it would change to here offline. So also, you might have noticed this sign which looks like a thunder. Yeah, that's the new feature which comes with the GDevelop beta 98. So as you can see, we have this here. If I reposition this and hit it again, it changes position. So that's the live preview, that's what it's called. So you don't have to keep on closing and opening again. It's a super good feature, which I think it's super good. Okay, so there we go. Now we have this in our connection. We have our connection.js, and we're actually done. We're actually done with the JS. So if you don't want to write all this line of codes and you just want to create it as a simple condition so everyone can use, and without having to write this line of code, we just do that real quick right now. So let's open our project manager, functions and behaviors, add a new behavior and rename this. I'll rename this to what's it gonna be? Internet connectivity. Okay, so internet connectivity, there we go. Oh no, I missed an N. Why? Okay, so there we go, double N and fixed. Okay, so let's open that up. Now this edit extension options. Now you fill in your name here and short description. Okay, I think I should just fill in my name, the GDevelop, and short description, connection. So this isn't actually compulsory unless you want to submit it to export it and maybe probably submit it to GDevelop. Okay, so close that. And okay, my next tutorial will show you how to submit your extension to GDevelop properly and get it accepted in a short time, because some extensions are there and haven't been accepted because of some various reasons. So I'll show you how to do that in the easiest way possible. So close that and add a function. Now this would actually be a condition, it's not an action, so rename this and this will be called is online. Okay, so open that up. Now play is online, full name displayed in editor, this would be is online, and description. Okay, so the description displayed, what would it be? Okay, checks if your device is connected to the internet. Okay, so there we go, checks if it's connected to the internet. Now for the parameters, okay, I'll just skip through this and we would come back right here. Okay, so let's add a new JavaScript code. Okay, so here we go, clear this out, and here we go. Now let's get a variable status, just like we did. Status would be equals to runtime scene. Sorry about that. Runtime scene, then get variables, open and close the bracket, variables, open close the bracket, and let's get a random variable, so you don't need to actually declare the same variable, you can just fill in whatever you want here. Okay, I'll just fill in connect. Okay, so that and here, and okay, so function and so here we don't need to add the events listener, so we'll just go straight to the functions and declare a function right here, which will be connection status. Okay, so that would be it, and let's open a bracket and close that, and okay, there we go. Now if navigator.online, okay, navigator is online, open close the bracket, and we just need to return, and that's it. That's pretty much all we need to do. Okay, so it's not as bulky as the previous one, and now we just need to set this as event function context dot return value equals to navigator dot online. Okay, so that's it, and this should work. Okay, so let's go to our events, and right here, so add a condition, and is online. Sorry. Okay, so there we go, is online, and checks if your device is connected to the internet. So here we have the parameters. Now as you can see, we don't have anything displaying here. That's the parameters we have down here, which is the param. So you can just fill in what you want right there. Okay. Okay, so here we just fill is online, and you can choose to fill in something like an underscore param. Sorry about that, we don't actually have a parameter. So this would, if you fill in an underscore param, it would display the parameters based on the order you have it in right here. So since we don't have anything to configure, it wouldn't display anything. So there we go, is online. So once I play is online and full screen, activates full screen, yes, and okay. So there we go, that should work. I'll just toggle disable this, and once I play is online, activate full screen, and let's do this. So there we go, it's now full screen, and window minimize, and okay, I'll turn on my internet now. Okay, that's off. Okay, turn it off, and here we go, it's online and invert condition. Now this translates to is offline. Once it's offline, do we need to activate full screen? No. Okay, so once it's offline, do not activate full screen. Okay, so this right here, can't really remember which it is. Okay, there we go. Now this it's right here, or just here we go. Okay, now we're offline, so that's why it's not in full screen mode. If I turn on my internet, it would come back. Okay, so like I said earlier, I submitted this to GDevelop, and it should be ready as an extension, so you can also install it. Search, and not sure if it's here yet. So yeah, I gave it a JavaScript tag. Oh, it's not here yet. So hopefully it should be in the GDevelop Beta 98 release, the main release, because this is still the pre-release. And that's pretty much all. That's how to create an internet connectivity extension in GDevelop 5. I would leave a link in the description to download the extension if you can't wait for it to be ready. Okay, so the link would be available in the description of this video. Okay, so thanks for watching, and hit the like button, and please subscribe for more.